We're Batman at 89. Welcome to Bat Minute 89, the show where we gamble our sanity by investigating Tim Burton's Batman 1 minute at a time. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And I am the other host, Niall McGowan.
Yes, and we're joined today by our first ever guest, Rikky Wiley.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I think in terms of this show, in terms of it being orthodox, this is most unorthodox for us to have a guest.
Oh yeah, don't rely on that happening again. This is a one-off.
No, we do have guests lined up, people. In case anyone's out there going, I don't know if I can listen to these two guys go on about this film over and over and every week. Come on.
Yeah, if you're sick of us, don't worry. There's more to come.
I have the inside scoop. I have heard of some of the upcoming guests just before we started recording, and it does sound prestigious indeed. So,
don't. He's gonna blow the lid off this thing. But anyway, the minute today, minute 19. It starts with Alfred saving the day and ends with the police discovering Napier's plan. Right, so we are back at Wayne's makeshift casino, and Alfred is coming off that lovely save of the drink with his grace and poise.
Yeah, the real hero of the film, Alfred. Really,
Yeah, I want an Alfred spin-off.
Well, I don't know if you get Michael Gough to do it now, but we have difficult to ask. But
he is dead. You could CGI him. That seems to be the new thing.
Is the character Alfred dead, or is the guy who played Alfred dead?
Well, the Michael Gough, that the oldest time actor who played him in 1989, is long dead. But
oh, that's news to me.
And which version of Alfred is dead and which isn't? That's the other question.
I guess technically because this iteration of the franchise is dead. So I guess that version of Alfred is dead. So
very possibly, yes. Yeah.
Really depressing people at the beginning of the podcast. It's like, yeah, he's dead.
Oh, yeah, let's have a bit more light-hearted entertainment. So now we've got some close-ups of all the gambling going on. And I have absolutely no idea how to play any of these games, so I don't know what's going on.
I was afraid to bring this up because I was going to. One of my notes is, what is this game? Because I didn't want to sound like a complete ignoramus, but I have no idea what this game is.
I think that it's advanced Dungeons and Dragons, not the standard Dungeons and Dragons that we would have played. The advanced one with the number of dice that are involved on there. I think, but it's who's the dungeon master. It seems to switch roles.
Oh, yeah, because I would like it to be Commissioner Gordon. I want to see him as the dungeon master. That'd be exciting.
But it seems to be whatever it is. It's incredibly exciting anyway, because it's just it's just constant activity. The money's getting thrown about, dice are going down, everything's just happening all the time. There's blah, 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 blah.
Well, the important thing though is that we see Gordon and his wife playing the game and being harassed by Knox, who's growing on me now.
Is that Gordon's wife?
Believe it or not.
Yeah. Because when right, okay, because I thought she was like the queen of the game. I genuinely thought she was like the dungeon master of whatever it was they're playing. Because when they shoot off, they say sorry or something to her as if to, oh, we're off now. And I thought she was like the croupier or the dealer or something. It didn't click. Is this the only scene that she's in? Do we see Gordon's wife anywhere else?
Yeah, this is it for the entire franchise. You never see Gordon's wife again.
It's a prestigious role.
We do know it's definitely Gordon's wife because Knox does say to her, Mrs. Gordon, oh, that's a lovely dress, and, blah, 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 blah.
Right, of course. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. I mean, I suppose in none of the film versions of Batman do you see does Gordon's wife ever say anything?
Oh, she does. She does have a big part at the end of The Dark Knight, because she's during the whole finale with Two-Face, where he's abducted Gordon's family. She's just there going like, "Don't you hurt my son," and all this sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I know that she's in it loads, but I don't remember her saying anything. Does she have words to say, or is it just whimpering?
It was mostly just and then when they think that Gordon's dead mid-film, she also screams at Batman, where he's like up in the shadows, and she's like, "You did this! You brought this all down on us!"
Could have used a bit more of that in this film. I would have liked to have had her whimpering just at the side of the croupier table.
Or just like Gordon like throwing away all the family's money and just sort of like, why are you doing this to us?
Well, we all know that screaming characters in your movie are a hit. I mean, we all remember Temple of Doom. Everybody loves Willie Scott.
Oh yeah, like, there's so much for feminism that film. I mean,
oh yes.
I don't know what you guys are on about. Who's Willie Scott?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I suppose you've like surgically removed that section of the film from your mind, or are you just saying you just never seen Temple of Doom at all?
Never. I've never, as much as I enjoyed the Indiana Jones films, I think I enjoy the Indiana Jones films in the same way that other people enjoy like the Star Wars films and stuff. That seems very odd to me. I can't really differentiate one film from the next, and I'm not sure of who any of the characters are, apart from Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones's dad. Mr. Jones.
They're the only two you need to know, really.
I presume you're talking about one of the love interests.
Yes, the one from the second one, the one who shrieks more
blonde
than
love
anyone.
Interest.
Yeah, that's the
She's
one.
Blonde.
That's
right,
the
well, there you go.
So I'm intrigued
Different
by the
film,
idea, though. Yeah, I'm intrigued though. You might get like that. You're getting characters mixed up, like. You can interchange like Salah from the John Rhys Davies with Short Round or something. It's like, was that Chinese kid in the first film? Yeah, that was the guy with the fez, wasn't it? Yeah, oh yeah, it's the same character. It's the same exact character.
Yeah, no difference at all. They play the same role anyway. Well, they do actually. Comedy relief. Although Salah's got more going on.
It seems to me in this game everybody's playing at the same time, but maybe that's what you do in whatever game it is that they're playing. But nobody seems to be paying attention to what anyone else is doing. And then they all just take themselves off.
Yeah, but all we know is that you hear like someone shout 8, and then Gordon's like, I can make that 8. And I have to say, this is like keeping track of Gordon so far. This is the most lively he's been. Like he is having the time of his life playing whatever this game is. Because the rest of the film, he seems to be in abject misery. But now he's just like, oh my, he's just happy to have any time away from the office. It seems,
and also he's actually doing a thing, as opposed to he seems to be. I'm sure this must have come up in previous minutes, but he's just like a prop in this film, Commissioner Gordon, isn't he?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
he's lively in this bit, so it's not a good example of it. But and I'm sure you guys must have said it. He's by far the worst iteration of Commissioner Gordon in any format.
Absolutely. There is no point to him being in this at all.
Yeah. I mean, things have got so bad. Even when in a second, like Harvey Dent comes up and he's like, "Hi, how are you doing, Commissioner?" He's like, "Not good at all." But he's saying it with a big smile. He's just happy to like, I'm doing terribly, but hey, I'm not. I don't have to pretend to like, be enforcing the law anymore. So
it could be one of those examples where did they know the camera was rolling? Was that just the actor greeting Billy D. Williams? How's it going? Not very good. Not very good. I'm the worst iteration of Commissioner Gordon.
Oh wait, we're rolling. Hang on.
But they do that thing where they just decide that they've got other stuff to do, and so they walk away from the game, which I found to be quite infuriating. It reminded me of like when you're playing Monopoly with somebody, and then somebody goes, I'm going to bed now. Such and such can just have all of my money, and you're like, no, because that now completely throws off the balance of the whole game. You might as well have not started.
Exactly.
If you're not willing to play the game to the end, just don't start.
Yes, I know. We had a Mario Kart championship one time that almost came to blows over someone had previously got kicked out, and then the person who was like on top of the leaderboard wanted to go home, and he's like, "Oh, he can take my place." It's like he got chucked out already. You have to stay until the.
Was this GameCube Mario Kart?
No, it was a Nintendo Wii, but
Nintendo Wii.
Yeah. But,
I'm a double dash man myself, but let's not fall out over it.
So Batman.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's a Batman.
So there's a Batman thing going on.
We get now like I have to say, this is the beginning of like the downfall of Knox for me, because when he slithers over to them and he's been really sycophantic, and it's all bull smile, and it's all like complimenting everybody. And he's way too familiar, just like talking to Gordon's wife. He calls Gordon Gordo, It's like, what? Who
I
do
didn't
you
even
think
pick
you
up
are?
on that.
Yeah.
Does he say, is it to Gordon, does he say nice suit? Or no, it's Harvey Dent, is it? When Harvey Dent comes over, he says nice suit or whatever. And he's clearly just wearing a suit, the same suit that everybody else is wearing. There's nothing stand out about it. It's not like he's got his Lando Calrissian cape with him or anything.
Yeah.
It's just, you are
That
wearing
would be
clothes.
perfect.
I think he does the same to the mayor. He's like, "Oh, I love that tie." It's like it's a black tie. Like it's nothing. There's nothing to the tie at all.
In this one shot, you can see about a dozen of the same tie on all the other cast.
But his is extra nice. It has a nice finish.
So-
Maybe
Is Knox an established Batman character? Do you guys know? Because they're not being as
Knox was created for this film, and shockingly, he was not popular enough to warrant ever returning in any iteration
format.
that I've come across. So,
Well, on first viewing, like everybody pretty much hates him. But going through it minute by minute, we've become quite fond of Knox.
well, yeah. I did, and then I
Until
made my
this.
I made my notes for these upcoming minutes, and by the end of them, I'm like, no, I remember why I hate him now. Yeah.
Well, he comes over because he wants to know, of course, if the commissioner has a file on the Batman, as rumoured.
Oh, yeah.
But I was just wondering, like, why does he want to know this? Because would that somehow prove it's real? I assumed the police would keep files on this kind of thing anyway, you know, like reported sightings and things like that, just in case.
There's police files on that you can look up online of accounts, all the eyewitness accounts of Spring Heel Jack, who was the guy who jumped onto rooftops in Everton, which is not far from where I am, quite far from where you are, Niall. And he, in the was it the late 1800s, jumped up on rooftops and ran up and down a street in Everton, but like taking jumps of like 10 foot at a time, and like apparently the whole street came out and saw him do it, and that's all on file. But also, it definitely didn't happen because that type of stuff doesn't happen in real life, and yet we know about it because we have the police files. So I would put it to Knox that it's a little bit fruitless in his investigation to start badgering Gordon over this now.
I do kind of just want to go like start pestering the Liverpool police. It's like, I hear the police have a file on Spring Heel Jack, Drew.
Well, actually, that's quite
our
tempting,
mission.
though. Yes, we can definitely do that. Next time I see a policeman.
But yeah, we had the Gordon's retort to this though is then Knox, I told you for the 9th time there is no bat, and I've checked this in every version of the script. He very specifically says the 9th time. So is that like his exaggerated, I've told you a bunch of times, or is this like, this is the 9th time? Like, I've gone through it. Every time with them, I've made a note, and this is exactly the 9th time that I've had to say this to you.
It's too specific for it not to be that. That's exactly what he's
it
done.
has to be.
He's that sad.
I have to say, he's really good, though, at just brushing him off, because he is just like, he's not even looking at him. It's just like, Knox, I told you for the 9th time, there is no bat. He doesn't even take his eyes off the game. Because, to be fair, this game is his life now. Because it's all he's got going for him is this game. So
He does not want to pay attention to the wife. He's just focused on the game.
It also kind of underlines Knox is just as chipper as he is. He's also quite low status, and nobody he just gets brushed off by most people, doesn't he? He gets brushed off when he's in is it the Gotham Gazette that he works for?
Oh, the Gotham Globe, I think it is. Yeah,
the Gotham Globe, is it? Yeah. He seems to have no esteem wherever he goes, does he?
Well, that's the thing. We pointed this out, though. Yeah, it seems as if he's like on the lowest rung of the ladder. And then the following scene, they show you the front of the paper, and he's got the front page news about Harvey Dent taking down crime. So he also seems to be like he's their top reporter, but he's also he gets no respect at all.
He's do they only have the one reporter? Do we see other reporters? We see other people in the office, but they could all be just cleaners.
Yeah,
I
think we theorize that they just might be like just hangers on who just come in and like use the coffee machine. I'm like, oh, there's like the one guy who works here. Knox.
He's got page 1, but he's also got page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right the way through. There's nobody else writing for them at all. He prints it all himself. It's not even a real newspaper.
Except for sports. I don't see Knox covering the sports.
Oh, that's true. What about does Rikky Vale work for the Gotham Globe, or
She seems to now. She's appeared out of nowhere, and it's just like, I'm here, and I'm decided I'm going to cover this bat thing, and I've not been assigned to any specific story. I've decided this is the story I'm going with.
Well, she's a reporter of some renown, as we found out. So I guess if they walk in and say they're doing it, you're going to go, okay, fine.
Yeah, well, I guess we don't know that she actually does work for the paper. It could be she just wandered into the office as well, and she's like, "That's the guy I need to talk to right there." So, but beyond that, getting back to the minutes, we also see Harvey Dent swaggering over to the table. I have to say, he looks like he's having a great time as well, because he's chomping on a cigar. He's got his arm around the mare. He's in his element. This guy, like, this seems to be, if for no one else, it's a great party for these guys. So.
Oh yeah, and he smoothly comes in to kind of make the save, to rescue his buddy, because he can see Knox pestering him.
Yeah, and I do like his. He has a great dismissive line of Knox as well. Of the we've got other things in this city to worry about beyond ghosts and goblins, and just kind of does this, like, chomps on the cigar and swaggers away again. It's like, oh, Harvey, you could charm the ears of a gun dart.
Great delivery from the king there. Ghosts and goblins.
Yeah, he's perfectly cast for the dialogue that he has in this scene. I wonder whether it was written with him in mind. It's because he's certainly not. Do you think they were going to Harvey Dent him later on in the series? Did they know he was having a franchise? This must have come up before.
Oh yes, this was apparently. There's been varying reports throughout the years, but Billy D did sign on, thinking that, like, he had the promise of, like, you will be Two-Face at some point down the line. And then there was always rumors that he got bought out of his contract and to replace him for Batman Forever. But then he himself has more recently said, nope, just didn't even get paid. Didn't even get paid out of the contract. They just didn't hire me. So
that is cheeky.
Oh, that's
because Tim Burton originally wanted him to be Two-Face. I've said this on a previous one as well, because he was very interested in black and white. So he cast an African-American.
Oh.
So when he was Two-Face, I'm assuming he'd be burnt down to kind of the skull or something. So he would literally be black and white.
Oh, right. Yeah, you could imagine with all the skulls in Tim Burton's style. Yeah, he probably would go for something like that, wouldn't he? I've never heard that before. But I'm also amazed that he was so confident of having a franchise, because franchises for superhero films didn't really exist back then, did they? This was, as far as... I suppose you had Superman, didn't you?
That had already tanked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at that point, yeah. So, like, Quest for Peace.
Were we up to Quest for Peace? Oh, that's a shame.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
This is the revival of the superhero franchise was dead. Like, there was no one making them. So
yeah,
this
welcome to Quest for Peace minute.
Yeah,
someone will get to that eventually.
Yes, of course. Well, I just presume that you guys are doing. I mean, are you guys going to go through the whole? Carry on. Are you going to carry on after this film?
Oh yeah, well I'm hoping we do anyway. It depends. Like, speak to us at the end of it when we're like, we might be like, no, never again. But yeah, I'm hoping to get up to and through Batman and Robin. So
oh yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to those later ones, because I like them in a very different way.
I put it to you, you guys should instead be doing every film that came out in 1989.
Oh, that would be good.
That's your challenge.
I'm trying to think now what other films came out in 1989.
Probably,
like Beaches or something.
There must have been a Star Trek that came out in 1989.
I'm not too sure, actually.
No, maybe there
When wasn't there one back then? Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think there were any other films in 89. I take it back.
I think that's why this was so successful. It's like, oh wait, no, we do know there was Ghostbusters 2 came out in 1989, because it came out like the week before this, I think. So
yeah, which we like, but a lot of people are dead against that movie.
I'm not falling over myself to watch it again. Some things you get to a certain point in life and you just got to be like, I would prefer my memories of that film than to actually see, how dated it's become.
Yeah,
it still holds up, I think. I've got quite a lot of memories. I used to play I had the video game, or I think it was on the Atari ST. I had the game.
Is there
and I'd make my mum play with me.
Do you lower down into a sewer in that game?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
I had it on the ZX Spectrum, which is going back even further.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was one of those games where your health was represented, I believe, by like an image of you at the bottom of the screen that got like more disheveled and scuffed. There's more health that you lost.
That's the one. That's the one. And then by the end, if you've kept all the Ghostbusters in good health, they can all make the attack, like the final battle. But you might lose one of them, and one of them will turn on you.
That sounds brilliant.
It's good because of Vigo. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Batman.
Yeah, this week on Ghostbusters 2 Atari game minutes.
So yeah, we've got Knox here attempting to be charming once again. You know, buttering people up with a great suit, as we mentioned. He wants anybody to give him anything on the Batman. He's desperate.
And he eventually reaches the one guy who's not having a good time, the mayor, because the mayor just looks like he's ready to jump off a cliff. I don't know if it's because Knox is there, but he did seem to be a bit miserable at the beginning of the scene before Knox showed up as well. So
well, as we know, he's blown all the money for the festival. So he's depressed.
He almost literally doesn't move, and there's so much bustle going on all around him throughout the whole scene. He's pretty much just stock still, and then just goes no comment, and he's off.
It could be like this actor just isn't like he's used to being directed. So when Tim was just like, just pretend you're at a casino, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. He just completely freezes up and is like, I'll just wait for to say my line. No comment, and I'm out.
He just spends the whole previous minute just thinking in his head, no comment, no comment. What's the line? It's no comment, is it? No comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. And then finally, no comment, and he's off.
Hey, I wonder how many times he fluffed the line though.
Yeah. Loads
comment,
of comments.
no. Oh damn it!
Oh, damn.
Plenty of comments.
I've got pockets full of them.
Yeah, co-noment. But I think it's either that or we know that the mayor previously has said he's the guy who's like insisting that this parade happens or the festival happens, and he had a whole thing about he wants hot dogs, balloons, the whole schmear. And I think like he might just be looking around Wayne Manor going like, there's no balloons, there's no hot dogs here. And actually, I don't think we've mentioned yet, the decoration for this party is terrible.
Oh, like, it's shocking.
Is there any?
It's like there's one really crappy sign in the back that's just like theoretically, it was probably Alfred had to make it. So it's just like, it's a white rag with like, save the festival written on it in plain font. And there's red, white, and blue bunting. And that's it. That's all they did. So,
well, maybe Bruce is just tight. Maybe he just doesn't want to spend any money.
Well, that would stand to reason because again, they're raising money for this festival. Can't Bruce Wayne just bankroll the festival? Can't he just go? Yeah, here's a couple of mil. Go do whatever you want.
Especially knowing what we know he's Batman. We know he basically has unlimited funds.
Maybe like they came to him and they asked him that, and he was like sitting looking at like all the specs for his bat plane. And he's like, we're gonna that costs exactly like 12 million, and then they're like, we need 12 million for the festival, and he's just like,
you see, I've got this whole thing planned where I fly up to the moon, and it's like I want to be able to fly. I don't want to give up this whole moon thing I've got planned, so maybe next year.
He's really got his heart set on that one, hasn't he?
And they'll be like, you were going to do this. Oh no, Batman's going to do this. Batman told me he's going to do this. I was like, why does that got to do with you? Nothing.
No comment. And then he's gone.
Like, Alfred, come here.
Well, then Gordon gets called over by a cop called Robert, who sadly is not our favourite background character, Bob the Goon in disguise. I really wish it was him in disguise. But he reveals that Napier is cleaning out Axis chemicals. They're onto him.
Yeah. And this is Robert. We have briefly mentioned him before.
Really?
Because in the Batman wiki, there's a cop you see who tips off Knox about Batman beating up some thugs at the beginning of the film, and there's an African American cop called Dwight, and Knox goes to bat, and Dwight has his own entry in the Batman wiki, and it says associates Robert, and then no one else. And there's loads of other cops in this film, and it's kind of like the Batman wiki's like, well, the two black cops would know each other. I don't know if you know the rest of them.
So
that's a bit like that's a bit racist of you there, Batman wiki. I'm not too sure about that, you know.
So we're gonna have to edit that.
Hang on, wait. This scene you're describing where he tips off Batman, you say?
No.
Tips off Gordon.
Tips off Gordon. Okay,
No.
Sorry, I misheard that, and I thought there were whole.
Oh wait, hang on.
On the Batman wiki.
You're talking about the scene with Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene is that Knox shows up to where the Batman has just been.
A previous scene.
Yeah, and he's been tipped off by a cop called Dwight, and he briefly walks past him and just goes, "Thanks for the tip, Dwight." And that's all you see of him. But that cop warranted his own Batman wiki entry. So.
Oh, bless. I think Gordon does...
As does Robert, actually. But
Gordon does that thing that I can think of about half a dozen people off the top of my head now who do this exact thing. And I think it's something to do with being short-sighted or long-sighted or something. But he stands far too close to the guy that he's talking to. Like, he comes he's fully in his personal space there, and it's like, you know that cop can just feel the spittle hitting his face. It's I'm uncomfortable on his behalf there watching that bit.
Oh, absolutely. I used to work with people who would do that, and you'd subtly try and kind of inch away from them, and they would keep going closer and closer, and you're trying to give them a clue, and they're not getting it, and you can smell their breath.
And it's it sounds like from that it sounds like you're going to come out in defense of standing very close to people. It sounded, Niall, like you were just going to go, well, wait, hey, sometimes people have really great skin and you just want to get up to them.
No, because it's happened to me very recently, and it was like at a party we had like a couple of weeks back, and there's a girl. I won't mention her in case she listens to the program.
It was your birthday, in fact, wasn't it?
No, this was another friend's birthday, like a couple of weeks before that. But and she has a real bad habit of like standing insanely close to you, and you could backtrack about 10 meters, and she's still there right in front of you. But like it's you think like there's at times I've thought like, is she coming on to me? And then I heard from other people like my friend, one of my friend's girlfriends. There's whispers going down, which is going, she's flirting with me. Like my friend's girlfriend thought that this other girl was flirting with her. And I was like, no, she just talks you way too close. And she's like, oh, well, you sure? It's like, yeah, she does that with everybody.
But maybe Gordon is flirting with the cop now that you mention it. I hadn't thought about that. But doesn't he like pure touch him as well? Hasn't he got his arm on his shoulder?
Oh, yeah, this is the thing. Like, yeah, I've got more notes on this for the next minute. But yeah, but Gordon and Robert are pretty bosom buddies.
Well, as we established, Gordon clearly isn't too interested in his wife. So you never know. It could be for show. It could be a sham marriage.
Yeah, could be. Could be, she's just his beard.
There's more layers to this than we originally thought with Gordon.
This whole movie is an onion that we're peeling.
That's like Tim Burton would be listening to this. He's like, finally, somebody got me.
Somebody got the homoerotic Commissioner Gordon officer. I'm so sorry. What was the officer's name?
Robert.
Is it the memorable Officer Robert?
He doesn't get a last name. He doesn't have a whole biography, this guy. It's just Robert.
Yeah, that's it. That's it on the wiki. There's no last name, nothing. But then we get one last shot here of Vicky, and then Knox waving his hands at her like a maniac as the minute ends.
Yep.
So nothing too exciting to end the minute.
Else think, is Vicky wearing a wedding dress there, do you think?
We have ripped into this dress previously because I think it's terrible, and it is like a wedding dress. It's a weird puffy. It's just a mess. It's a mess, this dress. Like to me, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, is that you said you mentioned it before. Is it like, do you think it's intentionally bad to say something about the character? Is that some subtle costume designer's choice that she's wearing something slightly inappropriate? Because she's not. I mean, inappropriate as in not suitable. What do you think, John?
I just think it's the answer is it is 1989. Basically, there are very different standards. I think we mentioned at one point the final dress from Pretty in Pink as an example.
Yeah,
that's a shocking piece of fashion.
And to be honest, I don't know how old you guys are, but like, if you were, how old were you guys in 1989?
Oh God, 3.
Yeah, 2.
Well, I was a jaded middle-aged man back then. I'm a little older than you, and I can tell you, people did used to just walk around in those dresses anyway. It was standard. You did. Bus drivers would wear them. It'd be them, the LA gear, the bum bag.
Now we need to bring this back.
Yeah, it could be. It's time for a revival. I mean, I won't wear it personally because I think it looks like a white garbage bag. But you know.
Well, in the original October 1986 draft of this film, there's another scene slotted in at the end here, where they cut to Ace Chemicals and Napier, you know, clearing it out. I think that would have been quite good to put in to keep the pace up a little, because as you'll see in the next minute, it's just still more stuff at the fake casino ball, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I do know from that draft as well. They put in they've taken out that scene, but then they've inserted this bit with Gordon and Robert isn't in that script.
No,
and it seems like it's actually it was a good thing to put in because you do need to see this because later on in that original script, Gordon's just hanging about the casino, and then Alfred comes in to Bruce Wayne later on. It's like, oh, Commissioner Gordon was compelled to leave. But at least with this, you're seeing like this is him. This is why he's leaving. You, the audience, are going, oh, he's going to get Access Chemicals sorted. Whereas that script kind of leaves you sort of like, well, what is he doing? Why is he left? And then we have to kind of find out with Batman exactly what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, because in the other version, I just assume he's going to sit in the bathroom on his own, crying into his hands. That's pretty much all he does with his evenings.
Just got a picture of Robert in his wallet going like, why can't I quit you?
But no, I agree. That scene does that. It would keep the pace up. You're right. We should definitely roll on the special edition re-release where they put that scene in.
Yeah, we need to George Lucas this thing.
Obviously, everyone's too old to do it. We'd have to do it with CG now, but I'm sure there's people falling over themselves to do that.
I'm sure Robert Wool would appreciate the work anyway. It's like, hey, you need me, guys? Like, no, we figured all the Knox scenes were long enough. Robert, you can stay home.
But no Alfred, because he is dead.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't remind me. Oh, yeah. Got a tear now.
They can just get Michael Caine in to do his parts. It's like, oh, it's the same exact guy. Like, there's no difference between Michael Caine and this guy. They're both old white guys. That's it. They're interchangeable.
So that's all my notes for the minute.
Yeah,
I don't know about you
sounds
guys.
Good.
Yep. I suppose we should, in case the audience are wondering, like, who the hell's this new guy? Do you want to introduce yourself, Ricky, and like what you do? What's your business?
Oh well, it's very kind of you to give me a platform for that. Let's have a think. I think you guys probably, when I first met you guys, I was a semi-active smutty rapper. You guys always see me rapping a bit live, and I'm hoping in the future to be a smutty stand-up, but I'm making my first forays into that, but it's strictly on an open mic level. Where at this point in time where you meet me now, I'm pretty much, I just do the tills for the ice cream stall at a music venue in Liverpool city centre, and look after 2 kids.
Do you think though, if you kept on with the smutty rapping, that you could have reached the levels of like getting like a Batman soundtrack, like a la Prince or R. Kelly, and had your own sort of, Gotham City, a city of justice, a city of love, like that kind of.
I'm gonna let you carry on with that song. I feel like you've got more in that song.
Oh no! But once we get to Batman and Robin minutes, I'm going to be singing that. I guess the opening theme is just going to be me singing that in its entirety every time. That
can be your hook.
Yes.
The whole podcast can be done as a song. You sing your way through every minute of Batman and Robin. But
that would be beautiful. That needs to be made.
But yeah, no, there is no website. Oh, I suppose I'm at Rikky Wiley on Twitter, and I post jokes on there.
There you go.
So if you like jokes that are puns, just puns, then check that out.
Just
the best kind of jokes. Yeah. Have you got anything like to plug? No,
mate. I'm telling. No, this is genuinely. This is why I'm really glad that you guys have invited me on this podcast, because it gives me that little nugget of validation. Because genuinely, I just cash up tills.
But like in terms of, do you have any particular history with this film though? Like, do you remember like the first time you saw it, or does it have a special place in your heart, or is it just like it's one of the many of Batman films I like, but it's not my favorite?
I watched it again when I was invited back. When I was invited on this by you guys, and I was astonished to discover that I genuinely hadn't seen the film since I was an actual kid. I presumed I must have caught it again at some point, but watching it again, there were whole bits of the film that I didn't know what was going on in the film at all, and I was only watching again. I was like, oh, this all actually makes sense and has an actual story. I just remember it as Batman running around. So no, I was a bit too young to know what the I was a bit too young, really. I was in that point where, when like I knew that there was a film called Batman and that Batman was a character and that suddenly Batman was plastered all over everything, and I was part of the whole hype machine. But I hadn't seen the film, and it probably, like, when I was first into Batman in 1989, it was probably a few years before I actually even saw the Batman film. I was just like, I was playing the Spectrum game. Did you guys have the Spectrum game? Did you have the computer game of this, the platformer?
My friend did, and he let me play it, but I didn't have it myself.
We'll have to discuss that again in a later minute. But the game was great, and then I remember I had a pair of Batman shoes, Batman boots, that I really, like, I will never forget until my dying day. Had the Joker on the inside ankle and Batman on the outside ankle. Ooh. And the shoelaces had a string of Bat logos all along them, and the soles had Batman logos all impressed on them, and they were a really quality pair of shoes. And I remember getting them when I was 6 years old.
I want them now.
The only other place I've ever seen them was Michaela Strachan wearing them on the front cover of Lookin' magazine in the early 90s.
That is incredibly specific. I remember exactly what issue it was. I remember.
I'm not willing to divulge that. I'm still hoping to get the shoes off her, so I'm not divulging that information. She does Spring Watch now, doesn't she? So she can be tracked down. That's not a threat. I'm just saying.
So like you can spend half your days pestering the city of the city police of Liverpool about, like, I hear you've opened a file on Spring Heel Jack, and then go over to Spring Watch and just start pressing. I hear you have those Batman shoes.
And any Americans listening, you should probably Google Michaela Strachan. You might be very confused.
We will give you no help in spelling that, but you should Google
it. That's your challenge. Spell it.
But beyond that, that's pretty much all I have for this minute. So
yeah, same. So make sure to check us out on the Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. I'm not going to read them all out now. I can't be bothered. You know where we are. Batminute89. Look it up. Who else is going to come up? Us, of course. The one and the only. The original. The best. And, oh, yes, make sure to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Nothing else. It's got to be 5, or we'll just hate you forever, and you can just stop listening now.
I really hope you guys have got to sign off the snippet from the film where Batman goes, I want you to tell your friends about me. And that's how you should end every episode.
Oh, why have we not done that?
Now I'm just really like, why didn't we think of that? It's been like how many episodes we never thought of that.
So that's it for minute 19 of Batman. Join us again on Wednesday, where we will have minute 20. And Rikky, do you want to pop back in for that one? Hey, we're on to a winner. Join us again on Wednesday, minute 20. Holy multicultural mannequins, Batman! As a hall of dummies adds 2 more to its number, what off-base observations will orate from the obtuse facial orifice of Alexander Knox? Find out next time. Same Bat Pod.
Different Bat Minute.